Hi everyone, I'm Noelle, and today we're going to be talking about non-toxic baby gear. I'm going to be putting a link below for a Women's Voices for the Earth 2014 Baby Non-Toxic Shopping Guide that has a list of tons and tons and tons of brands in all different categories of products that you might want to check out. I'll be talking a little bit about some of the stuff on their list as well as things from other resources. When we're talking about non-toxic baby gear, a lot of the things that are ideal are of course organic, and as we all know, organic is expensive. So I will be mentioning some products that are top of the line organic, the best you can get, and I will also be mentioning some more budget friendly, probably still have toxins in them, but ways that maybe you can make them a little bit more low toxin. For me personally, I would love to be able to afford those high-end organic things, but it's just not in our budget. We are on a very strict budget, and while I can afford to buy organic toys and, you know, the smaller things in organic, I cannot afford the big items in that. So I have done a lot of trying to make things as low toxin as possible, and I'll share those with you. I'm also not going to be mentioning too many prices, but I will be posting pictures and current prices up here as I find them. I'm going to try to cover as many gear options as I can, but I might forget some, so leave me a comment below if I do forget some, and I might do a part 2 later. First off, I want to mention that I already covered non-toxic feeding options like bottles and feeding sets and everything in another video that'll be linked below. I've also covered toys. Those are in 3 different videos linked below, so go ahead and check those out separately. One thing I didn't talk about in my feeding video is breastfeeding, and as far as I know, there are no completely toxin-free breast pumps. I have heard that Medela really does try to not put too many toxins in their stuff, but obviously the best option to use is glass bottles. I talked about that in my other video. But one thing you can't get around is if you're pumping is how you're going to store your breast milk. And obviously breast milk storage bags, plastic, but I saw a video of a lady who used mason jars, glass jars, as storage for that. And so you can use, there's like little jelly jars that are about this big. There's also like the pint size, I think, that are about this big. Whichever ones fit in your freezer, whichever ones are more convenient. You can even just use the big ones for your fridge. Look into stuff like that. And there's also, if you're making your own baby food, there are little glass baby food jars, and I know that they have them at Bye Bye Baby, and I can't remember the brand, but little glass jars are great for baby food instead of the plastic ones and the even like silicone ones that you're not exactly sure what's in them. Those are great options. So that's it for feeding. Let's move on to gear. Okay, still on the topic of breastfeeding, we have to talk about nursing pillows. Okay, there are organic nursing pillows. They have buckwheat in them, they have organic cotton, they have all kinds of fabulous stuff, but they are so expensive. Yeah, I wanted one. There's no way I was going to afford it. So what I chose to do instead was get a bare naked Boppy and to get an organic cotton cover for it. They only have like 1 or 2 designs in the organic cotton covers, and I know Babies R Us has them and Bye Bye Baby also has them. You can also get them off Amazon, but at least then the baby isn't coming into contact with as many toxins. That's my solution. That's a little more budget friendly than the organic one. Car seats. Okay, all car seats have to have some kind of flame retardant on them, and all of that stuff is not so great. The brands that they say have less toxins in them include Clek, that's C-L-E-K. They have like the Foonf, I believe. It's extremely expensive. Also the Orbit brand, also pretty expensive. And some say that Britex has some less toxic ones. I personally did not feel like I need to invest in any of those at this point. I just got a Graco one, but my go around to that is that she will not be spending very much time in it. We don't have it attached to any strollers, so she's not going to be carted around in it. It's just going to be for car rides only. Diapers. Yeah, most of you know that I love cloth diapers. Organic diapers are obviously the best. However, other than some organic pre-folds, I really haven't been able to afford many organic cotton. BumGenius has a line of them, and I'm not sure what other brands do, but they're of course super pricey, but a great option. For a cheaper option, you can go with the organic pre-folds like Bummies has, and then just use a cover over them. That's kind of what I'm going for as much as possible. For wipes, obviously organic cotton wipes are the best. Again, I'm not going to invest in that. I'm just using baby washcloths. For a wipe solution, I'm just using water, maybe a little bit of soap if I need to, maybe some essential oils. Also water wipes I've heard are pretty good and non-toxic, and just really trying to stay away from all of the wipes out there. Changing pads, changing mats. Most changing pads have the polyurethane foam in them that you do want to avoid if at all possible. There are some organic changing mats or changing pads, very expensive. Also organic changing pad covers, very expensive. I did go with a Green Guard certified Colgate changing pad. It's supposed to be low toxin emissions, even though it does have the polyurethane foam in it. But again, she's not going to spend a lot of time on there. If I can get organic covers for it, I will do that. Just really trying to not have too much exposure to that. Mattresses, again, Naturepedic and organic mattresses are your best bet. Super expensive. There are a couple other brands other than Naturepedic, White Lotus, and Savvy Rest. There's a couple of them that are listed in the PDF that I listed below. And, you know, that's great if you can afford that. We could not, so we went with the Lullaby Earth brand, which is by Naturepedic, but it uses polyethylene instead of polyurethane. And polyethylene is supposed to be a lot safer. It's a waterproof barrier. And it's just a cheaper option that has low toxin emissions. Not completely organic, but it's better. Crib sheets, I'm also doing mostly organic cotton crib sheets. The only things, I think I do have one that's not organic, and I might have a flannel one that's not organic, but as much as possible, especially when she's little, we'll be using the organic crib sheets. Burt's Bees has them. There's a couple lines that I know you can even get at Bio Baby. The American Baby Company, I think, that you can get on Amazon, they have organic sheets. Mattress cover, again, looking for some kind of organic option. The Naturepedic one is super expensive, so I actually went with the organic bamboo mattress protector from Brooklyn Bamboo, and this was like 20 bucks on Amazon. So that was definitely a more affordable option for me than the Naturepedic cotton one, but anything in kind of the more organic is what you want to go for. According to this article, it said that the Crane humidifiers are actually BPA and PVC and phthalate free, which is awesome, and I definitely will be getting one of those now instead of just a random humidifier, because those are all really great things to have, because it is something that has to be plastic and there's no way around that. In strollers, it's obviously a good idea to limit the time in a stroller by using things like baby carriers. Many wraps and carriers are pretty low on the toxins. You can get organic soft structured carriers, organic wraps, all of that kind of stuff. Again, the Orbit brand does make some strollers that have less toxins in them than other brands, so that might be something to check out, but they're going to be pricey. When it comes to cribs, you're going to be looking for a non-toxic crib that has non-toxic paint and you know, no toxic finishes that they could chew off or inhale. Some good brands, I will post here. Obviously another option is to not have a crib like we are doing with just putting our mattress on the floor. Things like pack and plays, rock and plays, bouncers, and all those types of things, there are very few options that have less toxins. I have heard good things about the Lotus travel crib, that it doesn't have any phthalates or PVC or things like that, but I'm really not sure how that exactly compares to the other play yards in comparison to ingredients, and again, it's expensive. The biggest thing you could do if you have to have a play yard and rock and plays and all that kind of stuff like we are choosing to do is to limit your child's time in there. You can put maybe an organic sheet down or blanket or something like that so that they're not directly against any plastic and breathing that plastic, but obviously they're going to be inhaling anything that's in their surroundings. So to make it as non-toxic as possible, you're just going to have to do the best you can and reduce their exposure. It is exposure over a long period of time that really builds up in their system. Those are the main baby gear things. There's a lot of accessories that I haven't talked about. Blankets, again, going for organic is best. Bath toys and things like that, you really want to look at what the ingredients are. If they say on them that they have low toxins, I believe the brand Boon often says on the labels that it does not have as many of the toxins as some of the other ones. You want to stay away from obviously the plastic rubber duckies and things like that because they are full of phthalates and all kinds of stuff. When it comes to things like diaper creams and lotions and all of that stuff, going as pure and simple as possible is best, using like organic coconut oil as both a lotion and a cream. There are some brands like Earth Mama, Angel Baby, Burt's Bees, California Baby, Honest Company. Those are all questionable. They have more ingredients in them and so they're not as pure, but they're still better than the conventional brands. If there's anything I've forgotten and you have questions about, please leave it in the comments below and I will see if I can address those soon. Thanks so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye. For the year-long